You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to The Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, September 30th show, bringing in expert advice and inside knowledge on today's events in our local economy and how it can affect your money. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. You can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or go online to themoneyhour.com and I can connect you with the guests that I have on the show today. And today, many times back in studio, I'm having conversation with Rosemary West and Maja Butler with Real Logic, Sotheby International Realty, and we're talking a little bit about real estate. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming back in studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And I don't know what topic to bring in with real estate except for the craziness, because it is just, it's crazy. I don't even know a better word to use. And I think we talked insane was the word that we used last time you guys were in studio. But if we take a look at the Seattle market, you guys have given some information on stats. It's, 13.5% over the last year in real estate appreciation. So what's going on in the market?
Well, it's extremely on fire. It's incredibly intense right now. What we see still coming in is the movement of a lot of tech industry, biotechs, pretty much the same type of replay that we were here the last time, except it's intensified. The other thing that's really fueling everything is the lack of inventory due to also new construction. New construction, they're anticipating for the next 4 years nationally is going to be at a low. The cost of building, the regulations that are involved, the cost of labor, so many things are contributing to that particular cost, and therefore making it very difficult for builders to build anything that's affordable within, let's say, a 30-mile radius. And most people that are coming from outer areas, for example, San Francisco, Boston, they don't want to live more than 30 miles out or 30 minutes out. They want to, if it means renting a little studio, they will rent a little studio. They want to be close to where they're going to work, whether it's Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft. That is the overall concept of what we're getting from buyers that are coming into our market. They want to be close to where they work. They don't want to deal with the traffic and the commute.
Maja, what about you? What are you saying? I mean, I had, and I don't know if you guys made it or not, I did a Power Hour Lunch and Learn for my realtors about a builder panel. I want to get builders in here for studio as well, because Rosemary, you talked about not a lot of new construction because of all the changes and the requirements and the costs associated to that. Maja, what are you seeing with this appreciation?
One thing I just have to say, the traffic we know here is terrible. So, living 30 miles away could take you 2 or 3 hours to commute each way. So it's crazy. But with the building, I see a lot more developers and builders looking into and building more apartment houses.
Yes.
The reasoning for that is liability reasons. So most condominium and home builders get sued a lot. And so what a lot of them are doing, and they can't charge price per square foot. They can't get enough out of it to be building condominiums. So they're building apartment houses. And some of them, they're building to condo specifications. They'll hold on to them as apartments for 7 years, get through the liability period, and then they'll convert them to condominiums at that time.
Okay,
so that's why all around this entire area you're seeing apartment houses coming up.
So in 7 years, it'll look better when they convert them to condos.
Well,
Possibly.
Not every one of them is going to be converted. So,
of course.
But that's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. I mean, with Sound Transat, I've had in studio quite a few times as well, and just kind of all the great things that are coming up. It's just so far away, and I, if they could have more remote people working remote from home, that could help a little bit in that distance. But what other things can you see that might be able to help the inventory and the lack of inventory?
Well, another problem is getting things through the permitting process.
Okay.
So our municipalities are slowed down, they're swamped, they're overworked. Other problems are building materials as well as labor. A lot of contractors are afraid to extend themselves by hiring on a lot of new employees because of the crash we had in 2007 and 2008. They were
Kind of hard to forget about that.
Yeah, they were. A lot of them were really extended and
Yeah.
lost everything.
Yes.
So
Some of our biggest builders.
yes.
Yes.
So they're being much more conservative now. They're not extending themselves financially, and so they're keeping things close to the vest.
Yeah, makes sense. So let's talk a little bit about the rental market.
One of the other things, touching upon the rental market, what's happened overall in the United States, and especially in our area, is the price point where people, first-time home buyers or people are looking to buy into the market, whether it be on the East Side or Seattle, those homes are actually being picked up by investors or investment groups.
Yeah.
And because our rental market is so strong, they're able to rent those properties out. And there's an actual additional 8 million more renters nationally today than there was back
Crazy.
when the big boom in the near 2007. So that is another factor where you take a lot of the inventory that maybe people could buy into. They're competing with investors, and it's very difficult to
It's
do
very
so
sad.
because they're paying cash
Yes.
in most cases,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
they'll refinance once they
Yes.
get to the point where they have the property.
Yeah.
So there are so many factors that are contributing as to the cost of those homes in the entry level. So what we're seeing is the builders are going out a little bit further where they can buy land a little bit more expensive out in Puyallup, Auburn, Kent, and already in those areas we're seeing multiple offers even on that construction.
Yeah.
So, and Gig Harbor, but you're talking a huge commute, and the people that are interested in that type of property would have to either be retired or can work from home. It's a different dynamic.
Yes.
So we're seeing a lot of people thinking about the possibility, do I want to live further out or do I just want to stay and rent?
Yeah, and I've noticed, and I've talked with a lot of my agent partners. You guys not being an exception to that, because you get in your own little world, and you're wondering, well, is this the world that really is out there, or am I just seeing something different in my business? But the multiple offers have gone down a little bit, right?
Yes.
And so, what is the reason behind that? I mean, do you think people are just getting tired of going out there and doing this crazy competing?
You know, I think it's just the families are settling into their schools.
Okay,
Kids
that
functions.
time of year.
It automatic. I mean, it just always slows
Sure.
down this time of year.
Yeah.
So I think that's a major factor in that.
Okay.
The other thing is the baby boomers. And that's our age group.
Yes.
What's interesting about the baby boomers, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was selling a lot of people from their larger homes when they had the empty nest situation, a condominium or a house that was smaller and more manageable for them because they were buying something second, third home somewhere in the South.
They want to take some vacations
Right.
and leave their,
At this point, you're not seeing those homes coming on the market. People
Yeah.
are deciding to stay in their homes, even if they're larger,
Yep.
because maybe their children are going to come back because they can't afford to go by
Yes.
and live with them after
Yep.
college. The other factor is they don't want to get involved in the bidding war. They
Yes.
don't want to have to get out into the market. If I sell my house for $2.5 million, what am I going to buy
Yeah.
in this market?
Yeah.
What am I looking at as far as even condominiums?
Yes.
And then you have homeowners' dues and assessments, and there's so many issues that you have to factor in that is an expense of a home and maintaining it, which pretty much levels it out, and they're not
Yep.
going to move.
Yeah, good
So you
point.
have that other factor that's contributing to the lack of
Yeah.
inventory.
Yeah. Let's talk about, because I know you guys work with a lot of high-end properties, and foreign investors are they're doing a lot in our market. What is your guys' opinion on the conversation around taxing foreign investors? I know this is a sensitive area here on both sides.
You know, they are doing that up in Vancouver, British
Yes.
Columbia now.
Yes.
And So, and also finding them, because a lot of the investors were buying up these homes, multi-million-dollar homes, and then letting them sit vacant.
Yes. Yep. Because their attorneys are telling them it's better than getting a lawsuit. It costs less just to let them sit vacant. I mean, that was craziness to me when you can get $4,000 a month and your attorney says it's better to, well, we got an attorney here. It's better to leave it vacant than to have to deal with a possible lawsuit that could come up.
Or liability. Right.
Liability, yes. But go ahead, Maja. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm a realtor, so I don't want to see that happen here. I know that there could be other ways of dealing with the situation that wouldn't be quite as restrictive as that. So I would look for other options.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Okay. So, go ahead, Rosemary.
And our prices are still continuing to appreciate and rise. We just had recently a $23.375 million close on September 22nd in Medina, which is one of the highest homes that has sold in our area. It was listed at $24,800, so they negotiated a little off the price.
A little bit.
And I know that one of our real estate agents in our office just listed another property that's in the $23 million price point.
Crazy.
There's another one that sold for $21 million and closed as well. So in the West, in the Eastside, which is the Bellevue communities, we're still seeing extreme frenzy for any kind of property that is out there. Mercer Island has had a little bit more as far as inventory, but also what's changing there is they've had new restrictions on building.
Yes.
And that's going to change the dynamics of that area as well.
Yeah. So as we wrap up our time here, I want to talk a little bit about the sense of urgency of selling before there's correction in the stock market, the interest rates eventually increasing. What's your opinion on that?
Well, the housing market's going to continue to be tight in this area. Prices are going to continue to go up. And I think that those that are putting off selling their homes because of this may want to reconsider.
And what I would, the other thing that I definitely will emphasize is the stock market. We know there's going to be a correction at some point. It's been kind of a crazy time right now. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with the Trump administration, with the new tax issues that just came about today and how those get passed in the House. I would definitely more than likely start to think about putting your house on the market now. I don't know if we're at the top of the market. We don't have a crystal ball to say that is the case. But I will say that this is a good time to still put your house on the market and prepare it. And that's where please give us a call, give us the opportunity to put that place on the market, get it your full price that we're going to list it at or more possibly. We have that potential right now.
Yes.
But the market could turn.
Yeah.
And we don't know when that's going to
and
be.
And the interest rate is the other, key part of that as well. Because if you're sitting at a under 4% interest rate, when the rates go up, historically when they move very quickly. And you thought you could get something yesterday and now it's gone. So it's going to prevent you in some situations to even want to sell when interest rates are so much higher. So, well, thank you both of you for coming in. And yes, if you're listening to the show, definitely call the show to talk with Rosemary and Maja in regards to listing your property or buying a new property, because you have to have the best of the best in this market. This market is so much craziness going on, and the expertise that you have representing you on both sides can make a difference of whether you are going to win or lose. So, ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And remember, timing is everything.
Timing is everything. That's a good way to end. Thank you so much, Rosemary. And this is your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, signing off for the day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for being here, and come back. I'll be here next weekend, same time, same place, right here at 11:50 a.m. KKNW.